Welcome to the Pastor's Comments. Written by Pastor Daniel Lundmark. This week's comment is entitled, The Greatest Message. Martin Luther called John chapter 3 verse 16 the heart of the Bible, the gospel in miniature. It's so simple a child can understand it, yet it condenses the deep and marvelous truths of redemption into these few pungent words: God, the greatest lover. So loved, the greatest degree. The world, the greatest number. That he gave, the greatest act. His only begotten Son, the greatest gift. That whosoever, the greatest invitation. Believeth, the greatest simplicity. In him, the greatest person. Should not perish, the greatest deliverance. But, the greatest difference. Have, the greatest certainty. Everlasting life, the greatest possession. Some years ago, I was asked to speak to a dying man following our church service in a convalescent home. The family had been called together and told that he was dying. They asked if I would speak to him about salvation and explained that he appeared to be very fearful of dying. He could not speak because of a stroke years before. I explained to him why Jesus came to this world and briefly told him how to accept Christ. Then I asked him to pray in his heart and led him in a sinner's prayer. After prayer, his son said, "Dad, if you prayed that prayer in your heart, would you squeeze my hand?" He did. Then to everyone's amazement, he reached over and took my hand and gave it a good strong squeeze. Several days later, I was asked to conduct his funeral, and there the family told me how changed his disposition was after he had received Jesus Christ into his heart. His fears of dying had left him, and he died in peace, having accepted the greatest message in the world. What about you? Have you responded to the greatest message in the world?